All right, guys, how's it going today? Castillo Trading coming to you with another live stream. So first things first, guys, shout out to the stream sponsors of CoinCatch and Stryker.ai. CoinCatch is the perpetual exchange of choice. It's what I like to use for my trading. No KYC, no VPN. They got a lot of good pairings, good liquidity, and really they've been a great tool to utilize as far as margin and leverage trading goes. I highly suggest getting on over to CoinCatch and using them. Also, Stryker.ai, they are a new sponsor. It is a platform that I have really kind of been teasing you guys for a while. I will be getting into it a little bit more in depth on what I'm looking for, how I use it for trading, how I use it for, really macroeconomic information that's coming out there. This is a good resource to kind of get all that information in one place, right? So a lot more to come with Stryker.ai. Just diving into NPOC prints, guys. We don't have much within BTC. It's actually pretty clean, right? We have the highs, we have the lows, and we have NPOC prints within that, right? So for me, the next area of interest to long is going to be that 115,655 NPOC print, guys. That is going to be a retest of lows. We did leave that open on July 25th of this year on Friday. Once we got that move to the downside, kind of faked a lot of people out, kind of faked me out. A lot of chop has kind of been happening within this. So again, guys, if you guys are losing money and you're getting chopped up and over trading, kind of happens within this area. We had some really nice impulse moves higher, both on BTC and Ethereum. We do have some NPOC prints within range. It's really kind of just the focus for me, guys. Again, we do have some prints lower at that 109 and 111, but these are going to be the high conviction areas for me to be longing into. These are going to be the high conviction areas for me to want to be trading. As of right now, it is kind of hard. Just if we're, even just looking at a current range, right? Like even right here, the high conviction areas for me, guys, are going to be upper limit and lower limit. And right now we are just sitting at median ML. So that's not really those high conviction entries. I've kind of forced some BTC bids. I've kind of been back and forth with certain altcoins, just keeping things simple. This is a range that is formulating, and I think that it can kind of chop within this range for some time now. And again, that is going to be painful for a lot of people that are jumping in late, a lot of people that weren't really long before getting into this price discovery area on Bitcoin. It is painful to see some sort of chopping price action potentially be something like this, right? Where we chop into August and then we get that move follow through, continue. So just understand, just because I go flat on certain trades doesn't mean that I don't think price is going to continue to go up. It just means that, hey, you know what? I am not really getting those entries at those high conviction areas that I want, especially on BTC and Ethereum. So there's no need to force anything. There's no need to continue to add to these positions, rather just have a little bit of patience. Again, my outside factors of being out of town plays into a little bit of effect where I will be gone away from my big massive setup. So don't really like to be having too much exposure during that time. But NPOC prints, guys. So the next area I'm looking to long is going to be 115, right? That NPOC. And the next area I'm looking to potentially short or put on a hedge is going to be up here at that 122, right? And again, that kind of fits within our current range as well. So just trading the range until it breaks, right? We're kind of getting into that. We've had extensions higher. If we look back all the way here, back in middle of May, all the way to about the end of June-ish, this was a frustrating time for a lot of people that were trading, right? Because we just started ranging. And that's exactly kind of what is happening up here as we get price discovery, right? It's kind of like that stair stepper pattern forward. So just because we're ranging right here, same thing. Maybe we range here for a little bit and then we have that one step and then another step and then we continue higher. I still think Bitcoin is going higher. I still think crypto is going higher. I still think Ethereum goes higher. Just because I don't think it's going to go higher today or tomorrow doesn't mean that I'm not going to position myself to the long side, right? And again, this is all for margin trading. This is all for, kind of the short to midterm time frame trading. As far as my spot bags, I am still holding a lot of my spot holdings. No reason to be selling spot for me here, as most of them are still in pretty big profits. So for me, it's just really kind of focusing on the low term time frame trades and that sort of thing. But NPOC prints are really straightforward, guys. Now, the one thing I will say is if we do get a retest of this 115 area, just be cautious, right? You could throw on a starter position, but just know we have NPOC prints lower that I personally don't think get hit. I think that they get front run. Maybe we dig a little bit deeper past 115 to this 113, 114 area, and then we can catch a bid up to that 122. But again, if that happens, then what's the next plan? Well, I still think 122 is a resistant area. This is not where you want to be opening up fresh longs. You want to be potentially hedging right there, and then maybe we get that continued chop into August and then higher maybe at the end of August, that sort of thing. So still thinking overall higher, guys, but at the end of the day, this is not where I want to be opening up fresh BTC positions. Getting into the Bitcoin top indicator, we are still not really flashing any signals for me to think that a top is in. Again, this is what keeps me kind of grounded. It is a high term time frame anchor chart that we continue to watch every single day. And I will tell you guys, if things start to flash, if things start to go to the upside, I'll say, hey, look, guys, this might be a good area to take profit on spot. This might be a good area to maybe hedge a little bit, but I'm not really showing anything as of right now. And if you look, this has been the longest time frame that we've had these indicators at these highs, right? So take it it for what it is. I would love to see some flashing red. If you see some flashing red on the high term time frame 1 week, again, it's going to be 1 week. So it happens at the end of the print. The highs could hit on Monday and it doesn't close and flash red until the end of the week. So that top will be within those 7 days, right? It's not going to give you an instant indicator right away. That's why these things, they're lagging a little bit, especially on the high term time frame. They're lagging. And so for me, guys, I am still kind of watching for that bright yellow and that red to kind of be flashing before I'm like, oh, hey, maybe we should look to hedge a little bit, or, you know, maybe short on the low term time frames, or not be as heavy on the buys on the low term time frames, that sort of thing, or have patience for more of a discount on the price. So getting into Ethereum, guys, we're going to go over NPOC levels as well. Things kind of stay the same. Not much has changed. ETH has been fucking tough. It's been so tough. I was super bullish on Ethereum here, and I was super bullish on Ethereum down in this area as well, right? You know, I would have loved a retest of lower, that, you know, 1200, 1300, didn't get it, but that still didn't discourage me from buying the 1600 area. We had some NPOC prints within this low forming here that we were able to catch some longs. Also, we had some here, and then we had the extension higher, and then as well within this. So, you know, for me, it is hard to be like actively heavily bullish on Ethereum here as we get into a pretty significant high term time frame resistance level. And again, I think that Ethereum could break above 4K, but like, what's that time frame like? Because I don't know if it's a straight shot above 4K, or if there's some elongated chop within that 3,400, 3,800 where we can get some really, really good discounted buys on. You know, we did have some NPOC prints here at 3,200 and 3,300, right? So a retest of that area does make sense. And all I know is I want to be able to position myself to be able to long those areas when they get here. Not turning bearish, rather having the mindset to be in a discounted buy area. And that's kind of exactly what this area would be on Ethereum. And then on BTC, we kind of talked as well, discounted buy within this area too. So again, I just didn't really like how the weekly opened. I thought we'd have a little bit more strength this weekend, a move up, a rejection. But, you know, again, these are markets. You can't really time everything perfectly. You're not going to trade it perfectly ever. Just kind of get out of that mindset. But NPOC prints, will go over what we're looking for, where we're looking to be bidding. But yeah, for me, if you just look at this chart, ETH ran 180%. So it's outperformed Bitcoin recently. Obviously, it's a lower price. With lower price, goes higher, the percentage is outperforming something that has an asset. Bitcoin overall is a lot higher price, but it is outperforming BTC recently, and that's a good thing, right? But also just be cautious. I wouldn't be throwing my full stack into Ethereum here at 3,800, right? The area to do that was, you know, the 1,600 area, the 2,000 area. That's where it should have been. You know, now it's kind of hard to do that. And so, you know, that's kind of where I come into NPOC prints and see exactly where we could be buying dips. Our last long is that 34.35. Again, this is a really, really good confluence area to be watching. And again, it might not happen right away, right? This is kind of one of those things where I think a lot of people kind of get jaded when it comes to technicals, right? Just because I want a retest of this area doesn't mean that it doesn't happen down the road, right? We could impulse higher, touch 4K, and then reject, right? And people are like, oh, you wanted lower, you're wrong, price went higher. Well, not really. All that it is I'm just having a little bit more patience for the levels I want to be bidding than some other people. And again, there is ways to squeeze profit out of these markets in any way. If you want to be a momentum trader with high leverage to kind of catch those impulse moves higher like this, by all means, if you have an edge, do it. Right? But for me, I am just kind of going to have that patience for a little bit. We wanted a retest first of 3,560. We got it. We didn't dig any deeper. There was a lot of buying power within this. So we had a nice impulse move higher. We made some local highs and we'll kind of just see how things go. But, you know, again, for me, it stays the same as BTC. Wanting a higher conviction area to be bidding, wanted that discount area to be bidding. And so that 34.35 NPOC print, I think, is a really good area to be bidding on Ethereum. So CRV, this was a nasty rejection. I will say that. A nice breakout, but a nasty rejection. And so again, the same thing, right? If you liked CRV when we were sitting above $1, which this was a brutal move, right? And I'm happy that I didn't long CRV into this because I thought the $1 breakout was there. It had happened and we were going to move higher. Again, this weekend price action really kind of threw me off for this week. I didn't really like these rejections. I didn't like how slow BTC and Ethereum was. And so CRV still looks good. A nasty rejection if you were longing the highs with size. But again, always consider, you know, your game plan with it. You can even throw a current range on this now because it was a breakout of this pennant and a rejection. And this is kind of where I like to do current ranges. So I'm just gonna go into my trades really quick. Highs, lows, boom, right? So where are we looking? We are now getting into that discounted buy area on CRV. Anywhere in here, like let's just say you do want a long CRV here at 97 cents. Just make sure that you can average lower so that you can get a better entry, right? Whether you're long at 97 cents or you're long at 91 cents and you have higher targets of $1.30, $1.50, it doesn't matter where that average is because you're still likely going to be in profit, right? So get out of the mindset of catching a bottom, be in the mindset of finding an area of interest to dollar cost average into. And I will say that CRV is getting into that interest for me, right? We're getting to that lower limit. We're getting to discounted buys, coming off of premium buys, coming off of a $1 rejection, right? So this is something that I'm going to continue to watch. And again, if we retest that 91, 92 cents, I will be fucking hammering pretty heavy on CRV. So hopefully it doesn't happen when I'm on vacation. If not, you know, whatever. I still like Fartcoin. We are just in this high term time frame current range. It is kind of make or break at this $1.31, but it all depends on BTC and Ethereum. If BTC and Ethereum go lower, Fartcoin's going to go lower. It's not going to be that outlier that's going to be up 10% when BTC and Ethereum are down 5%. It has been an outlier, but just know we did get a rejection at upper limit. This is a range that is currently ranging. We are sitting at median ML, which is technically a no trade zone, and we want to be having patience for a discounted buy between lower limit and median ML. So that's the way I'm looking at it going forward. Again, I'm flat on Fartcoin. I close my trades and, you know, we'll just have a little bit of patience for the next trade. I want to go over WIF. I think WIF is just compiling a massive deviation outside of a range. Once it gets above this 140 area, I think it can really go a little bit higher. But this is a little bit better of a trade for me because WIF is one of those ones that hasn't like had that move like bonk and Pengu yet, right? So I think that, you know, if we can get an entry down at the same area, that 92 cents, and then we can get that move higher, again, kind of creating a range on this low term time frame. Looking for that discounted buy within that 92, that 79 cent area, we can get that move to the upside. So I do really like WIF here. So it's hard for me to talk about because my entry is so much lower. Let's see what we talked about last time. Yeah, I think we wanted a retest of lower out of these lows. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those ones. Like, let's just look at the 1 week here. Like, it's kind of technically at all-time highs. This is just not a setup I want to be longing with size. Again, that's not going to discount that I am bearish. That's not going to say that I think it goes lower. All that it's saying is I would much rather be buying in these lower areas. The high conviction areas are lower on these type of plays. And as we start to get back into all-time highs, as we start to get back into those resistance levels, I'm just not as excited to put on real size on plays like SUI. Depending on your trading style, depending on how you want to do this, you could be building a position now on bonk. You know, you could take an entry here and then be looking to average down all the way to lower limit, right? Because we are in that discounted area on bonk within the 1 hour range, right? So bonk looks a little bit better in my opinion than some other plays. That would be my thought process going forward on bonk. Follow on YouTube because there's a lot of shorts that come out. There's a lot of NPOC recaps that come out, live stream recaps that come out. I'm gonna do my best to still get you guys charts while I am out of town this coming week. Again, it's going to be a little more chill of a vacation. I will have time to kind of bust out the laptop. I will have time to kind of be looking at setups, maybe even take the mic to kind of talk to you guys and do some quick videos for you all. But really appreciate everybody joining the Trade with Castillo VIP channel. Appreciate the support. Gonna be doing another giveaway into next week, so be ready for that. And thank you guys for joining the live stream, and I'll see you over in the Telegram. Peace out.